Johnny Murr here, and the Game Awards have finally revealed the full list of nominees and categories for 2025. And look, we're going to go through. I'm going to vote. I'm going to talk about it. I think there's snubs. I think there is things that I'm really glad got in. There's a lot of that, as every year has. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to make this video. I don't know if I'm retired or not. I really don't, from making content. So you're probably like, yo, you haven't made a video in over a month. What, like, where did this come from? And I just felt like making this video because I just had a lot that I wanted to talk about and just go through this because I enjoy it. I'm also attending the Game Awards live in person this year as well. So, I, definitely am building excitement for that a lot. And so, yeah, we're just gonna do this again. I don't know if I'm retired or not. Who knows? I might try to make an epic 2026 comeback. We'll see. But I will have a video further explaining that and talking about that towards the end of the year, just to clarify some things. But without further ado, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. And yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's just get right into it. We're going to go through all the categories. I'm going to vote. I'm skipping esports and content creator because I don't really care. Content creator, I'll just give it to Moist Critical because why not? But most anticipated game. Here we go. Recognizing an announced game that is demonstrably, I don't even know how to pronounce it, demonstrably, I don't know, illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. So look, this is a category where every year, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? But it is fun just to see what games we nominate because we do love looking forward to what's next. As far as this year goes, I actually kind of like all the options. Obviously, GTA 6 is going to win because it's GTA 6. But I really like the fact that The Witcher 4 is in here. I think that was cool. Resident Evil, Marvel's Wolverines. Yep, make a lot of sense. Both big games next year. And then 007 First Light. That one is definitely snuck in there for sure. And I think that looks really cool too. So for me, look, Grand Theft Auto is going to win. But for me, I'm actually... It's between Marvel's Wolverine and Resident Evil Requiem. Survival horror is like my favorite genre right now. Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises. Requiem, I think, looks absolutely incredible. But Marvel's Wolverine, man, I love Insomniac. I love the Spider-Man games. I love Marvel. I think the trailer for Wolverine just looked outstanding. So for me, it's between these two, and I'm going to go Resident Evil Requiem. I think that's just more my type of jam, personally. But, both games really excited for. And 007 First Light. I'm looking forward to that as well. Witcher 4, I'm not the biggest Witcher fan. I didn't finish 3, but I'm definitely looking forward to 4 for sure. So, but anyway, let's go ahead. Let's go to the next one. Best adaptation. What a joke. Best adaptation. Recognizing outstanding creative work that is faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. In other words, best TV show / movie based off a video game. Nominees are A Minecraft Movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, Last of Us Season 2, and Until Dawn. So, off rip, Until Dawn should not be here. That movie was hot garbage. Should not be here. Heard nothing good. Wasn't successful whatsoever. Don't know why it's here. Second of all, Last of Us Season 2 was nowhere near the level of Season 1. In matter of fact, it kind of had the same exact effect that the game had, where fans just really weren't vibing with it, but critics loved it, whatever. Splinter Cell Death Watch makes sense why it's here. Devil May Cry makes sense why it's here. A Minecraft Movie makes sense why it's here. Now, here's what I will say. There is one absolute snub. I think there's actually two. There's 2 snubs here. One is Twisted Metal Season 2. I've heard really good things about that show, and I heard Season 2 is even better than the first season. But the big snub for me, and it's a victim of one of the biggest problems Game Awards has, where things that come out in December or late November never stand a chance because they are just completely forgotten about. And one of those victims is for this category being Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now, I really enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I personally think 2 is still the best, but it needs to be here. Like, it needs to be here. It is one of the best video game adaptations out there. All the Sonic movies are, in my opinion. And so that's definitely a big bummer. But for me, man, it's between 2. It's between a Minecraft movie and Splinter Cell Death Watch. I'm easily voting Splinter Cell Death Watch just because I love Splinter Cell, and I actually watched episode 1 and I plan on finishing it. Very, very cool. I think a Minecraft movie will probably win due to just popularity and the impact that it made. But I think if we're going purely based off of like quality, I think Splinter Cell might take it. And hey, I hope it takes it so Ubisoft will see like, oh, Splinter Cell did something. Wow, maybe we should use this amazing IP. Ubisoft. Gosh, I'm going to go Splinter Cell. That's going to be my vote. Next category, man. Best multiplayer. Yo, this is actually a really good one. A lot of good picks here. The only one I'm not so sure is Split Fiction being multiplayer. I get it's co-op. It just doesn't. When I read the word multiplayer, I just don't really see that. But best multiplayer is for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Your nominees are Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. So I haven't played Peak, and I really don't even know what it is. I just know it's a huge game that blew up and is really, really fun. So shout out to that. But I have played the other 4. Or I haven't actually played Arc Raiders, but I know very, very well what Arc Raiders is. Look, I think it's between 2 here. I mean, no, actually, honestly, I could see all 4 of these. I low-key, I could see all 4. I think Elden Ring could get it because it's from Software and it's a Souls game, and there are people who genuinely really loved Night Rain. I could see that just coming in and swooping in. I can see Split Fiction because out of these 5, that is the best game. Whether we're talking about multiplayer or not, that is the best game. I could see Battlefield 6 because I think outside of like what is recent trend, obviously Arc Raiders wins the recent trend vote. Like if we're talking what is the hottest game right now, what is the best multiplayer game right now, it is Arc Raiders. But I think if we're looking at, just Battlefield 6, it's been out for about 2 months now. Has been doing amazing. Like it has resurged Battlefield to an absolutely new height. And I personally really, really enjoy Battlefield. I could see this category going in multiple ways. I think this is one of the more toss-up categories. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and vote Battlefield 6, man. Listen, I think Split Fiction's a better game. I enjoy Split Fiction more than Battlefield 6. Like, don't get it twisted. But I'm voting for best multiplayer game here. And personally, I'm not praising Split Fiction for its multiplayer because it's really just co-op, which again is technically multiplayer. You get what I'm trying to say. For me, my favorite multiplayer game of the year is Battlefield 6. So for me, that is what I'm voting for. Absolute blast of a game. Next category, best esports / racing. We got EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Best esports racing game is for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. EA Sports FC, no. F1 25, no. Rematch, maybe, but no. I think it's between Sonic and Mario Kart, really. And I just don't see Mario Kart losing to Sonic. So I'm just going to go Mario Kart World. Plus, that is also my vote. That is the one I enjoyed the most. It's the only one I played on. No, I played Rematch, and I did not like it, actually. But, yeah, I'm just going to go Mario Kart World. I think it was... I think the game gets a little bit too much hate because it didn't necessarily live up to, like, the hype of, like... Not necessarily live up to the hype. It just... People had way too high expectations because of what came before being Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like a perfect Mario Kart game almost. And I think Mario Kart World just had a few things that people weren't so in love with, and so that kind of just took over the whole, like, just how we feel about Mario Kart World because it has a high score. It got at like 8s pretty much across the board with some 9s, some 10s, maybe a couple 7s, but like the game is still really, really fun. I think we give Mario Kart World a little bit of a bad rap for how fun it actually is, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go Mario Kart World on that one. All right, best sim / strategy, dude. This is one I really enjoyed seeing all the nominees for this one because here are some where we see some of those smaller games that may not have gotten as much recognition throughout the year that absolutely deserve flowers and credit. And so Final Fantasy Tactics, yes. Jurassic World Evolution 3, yes. Civilization 7, yes. Tempest Rising, The Altars, yes. And 2 Point Museum, yes, man. The Tempest Rising is the only one I don't know about. I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you what it's about. But all the other ones, I'm super glad that they got credit, man. Final Fantasy Tactics, I've heard is just absolutely outstanding. The Altars I've heard, or I actually know, I've played a little bit of the Altars, is really, really cool, really, really fascinating. Civilization 7, it's Civilization, man. And then 2 Point Museum, I've heard good things about the 2 Point series. Jurassic World Evolution 3, man, I love Frontier. Frontier is the studio that makes these Jurassic World Evolution games, and they make the Planet Coaster games and Planet Zoo. And so I love these kind of, like, they are some of my favorite games out there. I actually haven't played Jurassic World Evolution 3 yet. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, actually. But even though Jurassic World Evolution 3 would probably be my favorite game on here, my vote is actually between Final Fantasy and the Altars. Not even just, like, me, like, being objective, like, just me personally. Like, I'm more infatuated with the fact that these two games actually got some nods and nominations than I am the fact that I just love Jurassic World, right? Like, and that's just going to go for who I'm voting for. And I'm voting for the Altars. It may not be my favorite game on here or the one I want to play the most. And if I played all of them, it's probably wouldn't be the one I enjoyed the most. But it's the one that I recognize, like, there's so much uniqueness and so much good about it that I'm so glad that it got a nomination. And I want it to take home something because I think it deserves it, and I don't want it to get completely overlooked. So for me, I'm going to go with the Altars. That is my vote. All right, best family game. Dude, this is a category right here. I'm going to just say, this is the best year for this category. Usually every year, it's just the Nintendo category. In this year, there's only 2 Nintendo games. Can we believe this, guys? They did a great job here. We got Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossroads, and Split Fiction. Again, Split Fiction being here kind of confuses me a little bit. I get it. It's family friendly, but are we really playing it with a family? No, we're playing with a friend, maybe a partner, in which I don't know if you consider family. So again, it's just weird. But I get it. Look, Lego Party, I've heard good things. It's not going to be Lego Party. Lego Voyagers, again, heard good things. It's not going to be that. Sonic Racing, heard good things, but it's not going to beat Mario Kart World. So for me, it's between 3. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, and Split Fiction. I could see it going either way. Again, I think the better games here are Donkey Kong Bonanza and Split Fiction. I think Donkey Kong will overtake Split Fiction. So for me, I think Split Fiction's out. I think it's between Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World, the 2 Nintendo games. So we're back to it being a Nintendo category. And I think it could go one or two ways. It just depends on how the critics vote and how the fans vote. Are you looking at it as best family game or just best family friendly game? Because if it's just the best family friendly game, it's going to Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong is easily the much better game than Mario Kart World. But if we're looking at what is the best game to play with a family, it's Mario Kart World. So, it can go a couple ways. I'm actually going to go with Donkey Kong Bonanza. And the reason being is I've already voted for Mario Kart World for Best Sports Racing. And I think this is the only other category Donkey Kong's nominated for. I think maybe it might be nominated for one other thing, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to show Donkey Kong some love here. I think the game is overrated. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to tell you how it is. I think the game is a little bit overrated. I still give it an 8.5. I'd give it an 8. I don't do 0.5s anymore. I'd give it an 8. I think it is great. Has so many great qualities. I don't know. People be saying it's like the best 3D Nintendo platformer ever, and I just don't agree personally, but that is just me. But nonetheless, still a great game. Want to give it its flowers. Want to give it some credit. And so, yeah, happy to see that. Best fighting game. 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Virtua Fighter 5, Revo, World Stage. I think this is pretty easy. I think it's going to 2XKO. I think that's also probably what I would vote for. Unfortunately, I just don't know anything about it outside of, like, it's good. So, you know what? For me, just for the sake that I'm going to be there, the fact that I'm gonna be in the audience at the Game Awards, it'd be cool if Mortal Kombat won something, you know. So I'm just gonna vote. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. All right, next category: Best RPG. Absolutely fantastic. I don't think I would change a thing about these nominations. When I think RPGs, these are the top 5 RPGs of the year for me. 100%. The only one I wish they just added a 6th and put maybe like The Altars or I don't know, something else. I can't think of other RPGs off the top of my head, but I think they did this almost flawlessly. If you are a fan of RPGs, these are the 5 games I'd recommend to you. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. Oblivion remastered. I know there's a big line and a lot of debate between remasters and remakes being nominated for things, but I would be okay with a remaster being nominated like in these categories. And I think Oblivion remastered is big enough to, you know, get past those allegations, whatever. I would have nominated Oblivion remastered as well, but outside of that, man, fantastic job. Your nominees for our best RPG is Avowed, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2. A bunch of banger video games, man. What a year for RPGs. Listen, I'll just tell you right now, the only one I haven't put like a lot of time into is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and The Outer Worlds 2. I love The Outer Worlds 1, though. I just haven't gotten around to playing 2 yet. But when I do, I'm sure I'm going to love it. I'm probably going to play it before I go to the Game Awards as well. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, from the 3 hours I've played, it is a fantastic game. I just, haven't sunk in enough time into it. Monster Hunter Wilds, I adored it when it came out. Definitely haven't touched it since, but I can't deny I had an absolute blast playing it when it came out. Avowed, I think, is so slept on. It's unbelievable. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if I played The Outer Worlds 2 and thought I liked Avowed more. Not because I think it's better or anything. The story and the writing, it was just, it's okay in Avowed. The gameplay for me is what really makes me love Avowed so much. Probably one of my favorite combat systems in an RPG ever. Like a Western RPG at least, right? Yeah, I think Avowed is super slept on, so I was super happy to see it nominated. I didn't think it'd be nominated for anything, and here it is, so that made me really, really happy. And then, I mean, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it is, you know, it got nominated 12 times, ladies and gentlemen. 12 times, making that a new record for the Game Awards. Partially due to best performance, but you know what? It's okay. Or is it? We're going to talk about that later. Listen, this is hard. This one's really hard for me because I want all 5 of these to win. I think all 5 of these deserve their flowers here. I really do. You know, I'm not the type of gamer who's like, oh, but this game scored an 89 compared to 87. That means this game will nudge it out a little more. Like, I think all of these just flat out are great games. At least great games. Some of them I enjoy more for sure, but like I would not be mad if any of these games won, truly. Because I think our argument can be made. Arguments are stronger in other cases. But for the sake of voting, I'm going process of elimination here. I haven't played Outer Worlds 2, so I'm not gonna vote for it. Avowed. I think it's great. I love it. But am I going to put it above the other 3? No. Monster Hunter Wilds. I loved it. Capcom is like my favorite publisher, third-party publisher. They're probably just my favorite publisher, period. So to me, it's between 2. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Both fantastic RPGs. And this might come as a shock. I'm voting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I'll tell you why. I am unlike multiple people where they just see the games and they vote for their favorite game. I look at the category. Best RPG. And to me, from everything I have heard, seen, and have played, because I have about 3 to 4 hours into this game, so I know kind of what's up, just not really. From everything I know about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, if you are an RPG fan and you came up to me and was like, yo, what RPG should I play this year? The answer is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Because what I experienced in my first 4 hours of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, that game might be the most RPG I've ever RPG'd. Like, I got hit with 50,000 pounds of RPG mechanics in the first 2 hours. And then I got hit with 20,000 more. Like, it was just absolutely insane how many different systems, statistics, progression, trees, customization. Just, this game is loaded with just RPG mechanics. So for me, I think when I'm looking at best RPG, I'm going with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I think if we were just, like Expedition 33 has amazing combat, great cutscenes, music, all of that. I just don't think the RPG elements of Expedition 33 outweigh Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's RPG mechanics, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm voting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, man. Give it its flowers. Give it its flowers. All right, moving on to the next category. I wish the site was better. It gets a little bit slow or laggy sometimes, so you're probably gonna have to bear with me a little bit. So far though, I think nominees have been really, really good. There's not one that I would say there's been like a massive snub or anything, or nothing makes sense. Yep, there we go. Oh my gosh, is that the one we're on? We are on Best Action Adventure. Okay. We're getting to the spicy stuff now. For the Best Action Adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, your nominees are Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction. So I'm going to just say it off rip. Shout out to Indiana Jones for making the list. It defeated the December release allegations, and it is here, baby, because that game is a banger. Indiana Jones is a banger of a video game, man. So I am so glad to see it getting some sort of recognition. It got other recognition later, and we'll talk about that as well. But outside of that, the other four spot on. I think fantastic job. I've given Split Fiction a little bit of crap, but not this time. Split Fiction absolutely deserves to be here. A fantastic platformer mixed with action, all of that, great. Hollow Knight Silksong, it is a Metroidvania, so it is an action. I saw someone on Twitter say, like, how is Hollow Knight an action adventure game? I'm like, that's literally what you're doing. You're exploring a Metroidvania map, and you're fighting things as you do it. Like, that's an action adventure game. And then of course the two, like, what you would, consider like your ideal mainstream action adventure games being Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yote and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So look, y'all already know. I mean, if you just know me, you know me. Although I haven't really talked about Ghost of Yote on the channel though, so y'all probably don't know that. But Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is my game of the year. It's my favorite game of the year. It's my second favorite game of all time now. And then Ghost of Yote is right behind that. It is number 2 for me. It's probably in my top 5 games of all time. It's not quite on the level of Death Stranding 2 in my opinion, because Death Stranding 2 is like, honestly, like it's on the Ghost of Tsushima tier, right? And Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite game of all time. Whereas then I would probably put Alan Wake 2 and Returnal maybe on the Ghost of Tsushima tier. I would put Ghost of Yote like right below those. So now here's where it gets interesting, right? Best action adventure. How am I looking at that? How am I going to vote for what I think the best action adventure is? So, process of elimination once again. I honestly, and this is, I'm going to expose myself here, I have not played Hollow Knight Silksong. And it's one of the biggest games I have just not played. And truthfully, I don't think I will. I just don't really have an urge or want to play it. As simple as that. Wasn't really a fan of the first game. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, and I recognize its greatness. I'd rather be doing something else with my life than playing it, to be honest. So I'm not voting for Hollow Knight. Split Fiction, even though I think it deserves to be here, and I'm glad it is, and even though I had a great time with it, I still prefer the other 3 games over it. So for me, it's between 3. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm going to eliminate Indiana Jones and the Great Circle just because I don't think they're on the level of Ghost of Yotei or Death Stranding 2, but I think Indiana Jones has set pieces that are awesome. It has exploration that's awesome, puzzles that are incredible. I think puzzles, like low-key, I could low-key see Indiana Jones taking this category because of its puzzles. I think Indiana Jones does one thing amazing, and that is the adventure / exploration part of this game. So much of the Indiana Jones's chapters in its game is just doing parkour and finding these like artifacts and solving puzzles, and I think that's what makes it so great. So I could really see Indiana Jones taking this, but for me, it's between Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei. This one's really hard for me because on one hand, I think Ghost of Yotei might have my favorite open world ever. I genuinely spent a lot of time exploring and doing a bunch of bounties and side quests and things in Ghost of Yotei. And then on the other end, Death Stranding 2, my favorite thing, like one of my favorite things to ever do in a video game is just walk in that game. And ultimately, when I think of best action adventure, the thing that gets me the most excited is when I think of my time playing Death Stranding 2. And so I am going to vote for Death Stranding 2 because truthfully, exploring, walking, figuring out how you're going to plan your attack on this base, listening to music, transporting materials everywhere, like all of that, taking step by step, carrying loads of weight on your back, all of it's just so exhilarating. I think the gameplay in this game is perfection. I truly do. I think it is genius, and I think it is something unparalleled to any game. So for me, I am going to go Death Stranding 2, but shout out to Ghost of Yotei's open world because I think it is fantastic. Moving on to the next category, man. Best action game. Another fantastic category. They're doing a great job with these nominations. I'm not going to lie. Battlefield 6, Dune the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I would have liked to see a 6th category, and I would have liked to see either... by the way, in the action adventure category, I was actually expecting Hell Is Us to be nominated, and it wasn't, which is kind of weird, but it kind of makes sense as well. And then for best action game, I could also see Hell Is Us or First Berserker Kazan. I thought that could be here, or Elden Ring Night Rain could be here. But again, I think these 5 are great. I wouldn't put any of the ones I just listed above these 5. So in that case, I think it's great. I think they could have added a 6th, but whatever. Look, best action game is for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. So look, I'll be honest, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden 4 yet. I haven't played it yet. I really want to, I just haven't played it yet. This is hard. This is really hard. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know how excited I was for Doom of Dark Ages and how much I enjoyed that game. That game, Doom of Dark Ages, is a 9 out of 10 for me. I love it. I have a statue right here. I think the game is great. I actually recently went back to it, which is really weird. I never expected me to go back to. I literally went back to it a couple weeks back just to play a couple of levels because it's so fun. Like it really is. So Doom of Dark Ages is up there, man. Shinobi, I had a blast with. The art style is so good. The music is good. Its combat is so cool. Like Shinobi, amazing. Battlefield 6, I've already talked about. One of my favorite multiplayer games to come out in recent years outside of Marvel Rivals. And it is action galore, man. Jets flying everywhere, helicopters crashing, like tanks driving through buildings collapsing, like Such a fun game. Like, they nailed Battlefield this year, man. I'm telling you, Battlefield is worth a play if you haven't. I know people will look at it and be like, bro, multiplayer games, like, why are we comparing these things to, like, Shinobi and Doom and Hades? And bro, I don't care. It's a multiplayer game. It is a banger. It really is. Oftentimes we can, like, be a little bit clouded in our judgment for some of these games when I think they deserve it. And I think Battlefield 6 absolutely deserves it. I mean, look at what's happening with Call of Duty. Complete failure right now. Battlefield did the opposite. Complete success. And then you got Hades 2, man. And ultimately, this one's really hard. Look, Hades 2, I'm not going to lie. The more time I've thought about it, the more time I think about playing it, the more I realize I think Hades 2 is one of my favorite games ever, dude. I really do. I think Hades 2 is perfection. I really do. It is one of the easiest 10 out of 10s I'll probably ever get. Like, there is no debate in my mind that it's not a 10 out of 10. I mean, outside of my obvious favorites like Death Stranding, Alan Wake, Ghost of Tsushima, like, obviously I'm going to give those games 10 without doubt. But, like, just for what Hades is, it's just everything about a video game to the highest level. And that's hard because I don't necessarily think of action game immediately when I think of Hades 2. It definitely is an action game. Like, when I think of action game, I think of Doom. I think of Ninja Gaiden. I think of Shinobi. But ultimately, man, I am going to vote for Hades 2. I am going to do it. I just think it is easily the best game up here. And I say easily with as much respect to the other nominees as I can. It's just Hades 2 is a different breed. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. All right, moving on. Best VR AR game. Don't care. I'm voting the Midnight Walk because why not? All right. Best mobile game. We're not even voting for that. Oh, brother. Best debut indie game. Wow. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio. So what this means is, what this category means for those of you who don't know is, this is indie games where it is a studio or developer's first ever game. So this isn't a sequel. This isn't nothing. This isn't their follow-up. This is a company's first ever game. Blueprints, Expedition 33, Despelote, Dispatch, and Megablock. Listen, I'm fresh off of Dispatch. I've played all 8 episodes. Incredible game. Incredible game. Expedition 33, we all know the story. We all know, like, no explanation needed for Expedition 33. One of the best games of the year, easily. And Blueprints, one of my indie darlings of the year. This one sucks. This one really sucks. So for those of you who don't know, my top 3 games of the year, right? Not talking Game Awards, not nothing. Just my top 3 games of the year. Death Stranding 2, number 1. Ghost of the Yote, number 2. And Expedition 33, number 3. Those are my top 3 games of the year. That being said, I'm voting Blueprints because I really wanted to win something. And I think this is the only category it has a shot in. I think for a game to just literally drop out of nowhere and be so masterfully crafted, like, and I know you could say the same thing about like Expedition 33, but I wouldn't say that game came out of nowhere. Like, there was a lot of hype leading up to it. It was at showcases galore. Like, there were trailers galore. Like, had huge cast and everything. This game is made by one dude who had like one trailer during a state of play and then just came out in Game Pass randomly one week in like the middle of March and got like 90 something on OpenCritic, right? So I think the game just came out of absolutely nowhere, and I personally think it is brilliance in design. I really do. And I didn't realize how much I truly loved this game until I watched one of my friends play it. And I just got sucked right back into it, even after beating it myself. I'm like, wow, this game truly is something special. So for me, I'm going Blueprints. I really wanted to win something. I think this is the only one. The other game, I would actually vote for Dispatch over Clair Obscur as well, just because I just like the whole idea of something getting its flowers. Because let's be honest, Expedition 33, it's going to win multiple awards. So let's give the flowers, let's give some awards to some other studios along the way. And so for me, I would love to see Blueprints or Dispatch get the win here. But it's probably going to be Expedition 33, let's be honest. Best indie game. We're not doing this. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, 2025. And this is one thing I've noticed while listing out all the nominees and thinking about all the snubs and robs. 2025, man, was stacked. Does it have some of the greatest games of all time? It might have a couple, for sure. Does it have the biggest franchises of all time? No, not necessarily. Has some, a couple for sure, but the amount of quantity and quality and the amount of new and smaller games that absolutely broke out makes this year feel so much more jam-packed than it actually is, right? Because if you just take the AAA games, if you just take the games that we've been celebrating for the past 3-4 years, yeah, it was kind of an average year. But when you add these smaller games and these indie games and these multiplayer games that have been popping off this year, it makes all of them feel like those big AAA games. Like, Ball X Pit, to me, is a top 6 game of the year. Like, if I was making a Game Awards list, I'm putting Ball X Pit on there because I think the game is amazing. So just that makes Ball X Pit feel like one of those big mainstream AAA games for me, even though it's really not, right? So that's why this year feels so good. It's because you have so many games like these 6 right here. Now, granted, 3 of them are massive. But the other 3, Absolute, Ball X Pit, and Blueprints, are all small, independent games that feel huge because of their success and how great that they actually are. Best independent game for an outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Your nominees are Absalom, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. So I'm just going to say I'm not voting for Expedition 33 here because to me that one is the one that seems that to me just comes across as the least indie game out of all of them. Like, I honestly struggle to believe that is an indie game at times, even though it's published by Kepler Interactive, so I really don't understand that, but whatever. I'm not voting Expedition 33. So for me, it's between the other 5, and I haven't played Hollow Knight Silksong, so I'm not voting for that. So now it's between 4: Hades 2, Blueprints, Ball X Pit, Absolute. I've already talked about how much I love Blueprints. I have already talked about how much I love Hades 2. Absolute was one of my underdog games of the year where I picked it on Fantasy Critic because I thought it looked fantastic, and what do you know? It came out, and it was fantastic. I haven't played as much as I want out of it yet, so I don't know how great I actually love it, so I'm not going to vote for Absolute. So for me, it's between 3: Ball X Pit, Blueprints, and Hades 2, and I just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be actually so real. I don't want to pick. I really don't. Oh my gosh. This one actually hurt. I don't know if I can pick, dude. I really don't. So look, you guys know my top 3 games of the year. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Expedition 33. Then, under those 3, I have like just a big chunk of games that I am unable to order, right? I would probably put Hades 2 next, probably. Then I would put Chronos: The New Dawn. Then I would put like Blueprints and then Ball X Pit, right? So those are like my top 7. So I'm going to go Ball X Pit just so I can vote for it once. This is the only category it's nominated for, and I just want to vote for it. I wanted to win something. Hades 2, it's probably going to win some other awards. I've already voted for Hades 2 once. I already voted for Blueprint. So for me, I'm going Block Spit. That's because I can't choose. I can't choose. I love all these games so much. So I'm just gonna choose logic over heart here. Yeah, we're going with that. All right, moving on. Best community support. Low key, I'm gonna just do Baldur's Gate 3 because yeah, it's Baldur's Gate. All right, moving on. Best ongoing game. This one, super glad to see Marvel Rivals here. It's getting my vote. Easy. Oh, and now we might be stuck a little bit. Oh, here we go. Oh, I just totally went. Oh no. All right, we'll wait for it to load. But again, so far, ladies and gentlemen, like, not really the biggest of snubs or anything like that. Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Look, I'll be so honest, the only two I know about here, or the only three I know about are Lost Records, Bloomin' Raid, South of Midnight, and Wonderstop. I've only played one of them, though, being South of Midnight, and honestly, regardless of that, I am going to pick South of Midnight because I actually really, really enjoyed that game. And I think, for what this category is, Best Impact, I do think it tackles really strong topics, and I think they did that really, really well. So, yeah, for me, South of Midnight, man, shout out to you. Slept on game for sure. Innovation and accessibility. Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So for you guys who don't know, these are like the settings that you can pick before you boot up a game to help with like color blindness, to help with deafness, to help with if you have any other kind of disabilities. So it's just like what features do they implement to help reach more people, right? That's what innovation and accessibility is. And I don't remember each game's settings all that specifically, but what I will say is I do remember playing Assassin's Creed Shadow and being like, holy crap, there is a lot of different things we could do here. So I'm just gonna vote for that, man. Yeah, so shout out to that game. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Best performance. So look, Game of the Year, Ghost of Yote was not nominated. And you know what? That is absolutely okay. I honestly, that doesn't really hurt me in the slightest. I actually am okay with it. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 absolutely deserves it, right? The only thing in this whole show, in all of the nominations, in all of the categories, there was only one thing that genuinely made me upset, and it is this category right here. Now, before I complain, I shall glaze. Ben Starr, fantastic job. Charlie Cox, fantastic job. Erika Ishii, fantastic job. Jennifer English, fantastic job. Konatsu Kato, fantastic job. Troy Baker, fantastic job. I think all 6 of these actresses and actors did an incredible job. They all fit the role really, really well. They all added to the game they were in and made their role special. I think Ben Starr, Verso is easily one of the coolest characters of the year. Charlie Cox as Gustav added so much emotion to Expedition 33. Erika Ishii, I think, actually rocked it as Atsu. I was not expecting to love Atsu as much as I do. Jennifer English brought just such a dynamic character to what Expedition 33 is. Konatsu Kato, I think just her performance as a horror game and for what that narrative was trying to tell, I think was really, really well done. And Troy Baker as Indiana Jones, man, outstanding. You couldn't tell apart Harrison Ford and Troy Baker, and that is insane to do. That being said, I'm about to drop some hot takes here. I think there are 2 people on this list that I personally would not have on here. And that is Charlie Cox and Konatsu Kato. Okay? And let me explain. The reason I would not have these two on here is because there are other options that I think are better. And that is not to diss Charlie Cox or Konatsu Kato. I think both of them, as I just stated, did fantastic jobs in their roles. First of all, we do not need 3 Expedition 33 nominations. I get it. They're all worthy of it. But let's spread the love here. The biggest problem for me is there is no Death Stranding 2 performances here. Not one. I personally would fill all 6 slots with Death Stranding 2 performances. That's just me. I would have been okay with just one. Specifically, Troy Baker as Higgs, because I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to stand on business. He may not be on this screen of 6, but Troy Baker as Higgs is the greatest performance I've ever seen in a video game. Stand on business. Troy Baker should have been the first ever actor to be nominated twice in the same category. Like, think about that. That's some GOAT talk right there. All right? Troy Baker, what a GOAT. But seriously, Expedition 33 does not need 3 nominations. Konatsu Kato, even though she did a great job, I don't necessarily think her performance is what made the character like necessarily stand out. I'm not saying she did a bad job. Again, her performance was great. Added to the character. Great. I think just the narrative and what Silent Hill is made her performance like what it is in a way. Even though she did a great job, I would have been okay leaving her out. Charlie Cox, my argument for him is he did great, no doubt. I don't think he's to the level, like if we're talking performance, Gustav as a character is like my favorite character in Expedition 33. Yeah, Gustav is my favorite character. But I think if we're just talking performance, I think Ben Starr and Jennifer English are like on a different level above, right? In terms of performance. Plus, if we're talking about character and performance, Gustav's not even in majority of it. So for me, I think the biggest problem here is just I'm upset because Death Stranding 2 didn't get a single performance nomination. That's honestly the best way to put it. And I'm okay. I'm going to accept that. I'm salty. I'm petty, bro. I really am. I kid you not. I would put 6 different performances from Death Stranding 2 over all six of these. And that is no hate to these 6. I just think Death Stranding 2's performances are among the best. And so, yeah, I'm definitely upset with that one. This is the only one that annoys me because we got 3 Expedition 33s here and no Death Stranding. That just rubs me the wrong way. It really does. Man, but it's okay. So who do I pick? That is the question. That is the question here. I feel like I got to do process of elimination again. Konatsu Kato, again, great job. I'm not voting you. Charlie Cox, great job. I'm not voting you. So to me, it's between the other 4. Ben Starr, Erika Ishii, Jennifer English, and Troy Baker. I'm actually going to get rid of... Oh, man. Oh, this is hard. This is really hard. I really don't know. I really don't know, dude. I really don't know. I hate to say it, I'm going to eliminate Ben Starr. I think if any Expedition 33 person's winning, I think it's going to be Jennifer English. I just think her character had the most to do in terms of performance. She had to play like 2 different characters to a certain degree. I just think like Mael is undoubtedly the main character of Expedition 33. Can we all agree on that? Like even though you play as Verso and Gustav, like Mael is the centerpiece of that game. And honestly, Jennifer English is my prediction for who is going to win. I do think Jennifer English will win. because she is definitely on the up and comer of she is going to be one of gaming's greats. She is playing the lead role of that Tides of Annihilation game that a lot of people are excited for, and I'm expecting big things out of her in that. So I do think Jennifer English will take this. That being said, I am not going to vote for her. And the only reason is I prefer Erika Ishii and Troy Baker's performance. Now, who would I pick between those two? That is the question. I think the better performance is Troy Baker, but only for the fact that he impersonated a real life person to perfection. But I got to go with my heart here. Atsu genuinely made me care so much about her. Atsu made me cry, bro. For real. Multiple times. I was really not expecting to love Erika Ishii's performance as much as I did. Out of these 6, the one that is most memorable to me, and it's definitely biased, 100%, no lying here. I think Erika Ishii is fantastic, and so I'm going to go with Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yotei. But let me just set the record straight. Troy Baker as Higgs is the best performance of the year. All right. Best audio design. Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Battlefield 6. Yep. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. Yep. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Yep. Ghost of Yotei. Yep. And Silent Hill F. Yep. These 5 all make sense. And, I mean, I could see it going to so many. I don't think it'll go to Ghost of Yotei. I don't think it will go to... Oh, see, never mind. That's it. Ghost of Yotei is the only one I don't think it'll go to. The other 4, I could see it going to. Death Stranding just has so much and so, just ridiculousness that... I mean, there's so many different sounds in Death Stranding 2. But then Battlefield, just the immense amount of sounds going on. And then Silent Hill F, the horror genre, is just always at its peak level when it comes to audio design. But you know what? I'm giving it to Expedition 33. And I'll tell you why. Sound is almost what makes pairing and critical hits and perfect dodges as satisfying as they are. And this game does that perfectly, man. The amount of times you have to be paying attention whenever you hear a sound and you're like, okay, I have to parry now, right? The amount of different times you hit an enemy and you deal massive damage and you just hear that crunchy impact. I think, bro, I'm voting Expedition 33 on this one. I'll be honest. So honest here. Best score music. I'm officially retired. Oh my gosh. Oh. Holy Jesus. Oh, Jesus, be with me. I need the Lord's strength right now. Okay. So here's the deal. I don't even know what the deal is. All right, here's the deal. Hollow Knight, not voting for it. I don't even know how to begin forming a sentence to try and eliminate one of the other 4. I'm gonna eliminate Hades 2. Even though, oh my gosh, it's such a banger soundtrack though, man. Oh wow, this is tough. This is rough. This is rough. It's between Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2. 3 of which probably have my favorite OSTs. Three of my all-time favorites now. So I'm not going to lie. I know what I'm voting for, and I know what I'm rooting for. Easily. It's Death Stranding 2. Because I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Death Stranding 2 has my favorite OST ever. Point blank, period. I ain't even just talking video games, bro. I'm talking ever. I think it is insanely good. I struggle to listen to any song from Death Stranding 2 and not cry. The OST is probably one of the biggest factors on why it became my second favorite game of all time. Because when I am walking, looking at this amazing horizon, and I just hear the music of Death Stranding 2 playing, it makes me feel something I don't feel anywhere else. And it is just so special. It really is. That being said, though, Ghost of Yote, I was blown away by how far improved the OST was from Tsushima. That is like one of the only things I would say is like miles ahead of Tsushima. I think visuals is of course better. I think gameplay is of course better, but I think in terms of like the biggest separation, I think Ghost of Yote's music is incredible. And then Expedition 33, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, it's this one's hard. This one is hard. I do think Expedition 33 will probably win, but I'm rooting so like if I could have my wish come true. If I could have any game win any award, the one I would want is Death Stranding 2 for OST. That is my one hope and dream for the whole show. I would rather Death Stranding 2 win Best Score in Music than it win Game of the Year. That is how passionate I feel about Death Stranding 2's OST. Truly, I think it is incredible. What a tough category though. All right, moving on. Best art direction, man. Oh man, dude, this is. Oh my gosh. I hate to be that guy, bro, but I'm giving it to Death Stranding 2 again. It's the best visuals in gaming. I don't care what anyone says. Like, it actually is. Oh my god, why can't I think of the Decima engine is the best engine in gaming. The performance captures of all the different actors is some of the best in gaming. Like, it just has the best visuals in gaming, period. And I get it. It may not be as artistically, like, unique as something like Expedition 33 or Hades 2 or Hollow Knight or even Ghost of Yote. Like, it is the least artistically unique, for sure. But I think just in terms of, like, the technology and the way they design just the environments and the thing, like, I just think Death Stranding 2 is so visually, like, immaculate that I'm gonna go Death Stranding 2. But honestly, this category could literally go to any 5. I think this is a complete toss up. If I had to make a prediction, I would probably say, honestly, I would actually say Hollow Knight might take this one just because it's Hollow Knight. I think, you know what? No, I think Death Stranding might walk away with this one. I think that engine, I think the Decima engine is gonna carry it. I think people are gonna really think about, but that Decima engine, like, you cannot sit here and tell me that first shot of the game that everyone played and talked about and was posting on Twitter, where you're looking over that, like, desert mountain. Like, you cannot tell me that image is ingrained in everyone's head if you've played the game or not. Like, and it's due to visuals. That's like the only factor people are paying attention to in that one shot. So for me, I'm going Death Stranding 2, man. I will. Okay, there are some snubs here though. For best art direction, Keeper should have been there. Keeper should have been here, for sure. The other one I was thinking of, Blueprints, I think actually has some pretty cool art design. I don't think that should have been nominated though. Absolum also had some really cool art design. There was one that I was thinking of. Oh my gosh, what was it? Dispatch could have been here for real. Now the thing with Dispatch, it's a little bit weird because obviously it came out so late, but it was nominated for best debut game. But I think debut is kind of an interesting exception because, debut, it's their first ever game. So even if you did only play episodes like the first 4 before you had to submit your votes, it's like, if you're playing a studio's first game and you're like, man, they've been killing it so far. That's great. Whereas like you need to see how the game ends to vote for like other things like music and story and stuff like that. So I can kind of get that. But yeah, Keeper was a big one. I was really shocked Keeper was not nominated for best art direction. There was another game I was thinking of. Hang on, let me try and figure it out real quick. Let me try and figure out. There was one other game I was thinking of that I was like, man, I'm surprised it wasn't in art direction. Let me see here. Let me see what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Shinobi Art of the Vengeance. I think that game easily should have had a nomination in this category. It looks awesome. Like, it looks crazy, man. It looks really, really crazy. Yeah, that's what I would say. For best OST, but by the way, Mario Kart World not being there, big L. Also, Sword of the Sea not being nominated for like indie games or anything like that is really unfortunate. Yeah, RPG, by the way, Citizen Sleeper 2. Sorry, I'm looking at all these games now. I'm realizing like there's so many snubs, but we knew this going in. There's just too many games to, get everything in there. Yeah. What I will say, we'll get to it at the end. I think we'll get to it at the end. All right. Best narrative. Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost Yote, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Silent Hill F. Best narrative is for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. So I'm not gonna lie, I've heard hecka praise for Silent Hill F's story, especially when you play New Game Plus. I guess they do some weird, crazy things where they keep layering on it or they keep adding in new scenes to help like add further context and lore. And so that's really cool. I think it's really great. I'm not going to vote for it just because I haven't experienced that. Plus, I have played Silent Hill F, and I think the story was cool. I wasn't like super emotionally attached to it in any way, but it was like really, really cool though. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I haven't played enough to know, but I'm fully aware its writing and everything is really, really good. So for me, it's between the 3, as it always is this year. To me, it's always up to these 3. And by the way, I would like to point out, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, and Ghost Yote. Regardless of the fact that Ghost Yote is not nominated for Game of the Year, those are your 3 MVPs for 2025. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. They're nominated for every dang category. Ghost Yote just isn't for Game of the Year, which I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. But I do find that hilarious that these 3 games, when it comes to every category they're eligible for, are in there. No ifs, ands, or buts. So to me, these are the 3 MVP. Like they're just there. But for best narrative, dude, it's not gonna be Expedition 33 because I think the whole third act is where they lose me a little bit. I think the third act is weaker than the first 2. It's not bad. It's still great, but I think the first 2 acts are peak storytelling, and I think the third act is definitely a little bit of a step down. It just gets a little bit convoluted for me. So it's between Death Stranding 2 and Ghost Yote. I'm having to really think about this. The amount of times I cried in both of these games, though. I'm going to make a decision. And I don't like it. I think there are stronger moments in Ghost of Yote. I think there are more moments, though, in Death Stranding 2. But to me, those balance out. The thing that separates Death Stranding 2 to me than Ghost of Yote, and honestly, the rest of these games, is the cast of characters. I think the performances and characters in Death Stranding 2, there is not one character I didn't love. Not just like, love. I'm gonna go Death Stranding 2. I hate it, but I have to do it. Best game direction. We're almost done. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So this is pretty much like we always struggle to differentiate what is game of the year and what is best game direction. Like what makes those categories different. And I'll tell you right now, the big difference is Ghost of Yote and Split Fiction are here and not in game of the year. But the best way I can describe it is if you were to take a director of a game, whoever directs the game, how do they see through the vision? What new innovations do they add? What things do they execute on? Just I don't know. Just it's just I don't know. I really don't know. But I will say for me, I think when I'm looking at best game direction, I look at the intent behind it. I look at its creative vision, the things that they're trying to tell, the risks that were taken, the execution that was delivered. And I think I'm going with the GOAT, Hideo Kojima. I think Death Stranding 2 is Hideo Kojima's masterpiece. I really do. I think when I look at gameplay, it is the most unique out of all of these. Death Stranding 2's gameplay is the most unique. Its story and world is the most unique. I think its music with its visuals is incredible. That game was near flawless when it launched. There were like no bugs, no issues, no nothing. Just a polished, massive game. I think when talking about a game that delivered on its promise, I think Death Stranding 2 executed on that to the far exceeded a lot of people's expectations. I was faithful all the way to from the start. I was literally my prediction at the beginning of the year was that Death Stranding 2 would win game of the year. Probably won't, but my prediction was that. I had a lot of faith in it, and it exceeded a lot of people's expectations. It even exceeded mine, honestly. So, I think in terms of best game direction, I think Death Stranding 2. Now we have Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical field. Your nominees for Game of the Year is Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The two big old missions that everyone talked about is Split Fiction and Ghost of Yote not making the cut. And I'm not surprised. I'll just go ahead and say that. And honestly, I would be less surprised if Yote wasn't nominated 8 different categories, but not Game of the Year. Whereas Donkey Kong was nominated hold on. Donkey Kong was nominated twice, including Game of the Year. Ghost of Yote was nominated 8 times. Nope. 7 times. Like, I don't get it. Same thing with Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come was nominated more in Bonanza. Now look, I get Bonanza has to be here. It was incredible. It just the innovation, the creativeness, the execution behind Nintendo was just incredible. So I get it. Bonanza has to be here. And I'm really happy for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I really am. I think that game absolutely deserves to be up here. And I personally would put Kingdom Come over Hollow Knight and Donkey Kong for me. For me personally, I would put Kingdom Come over those two. I would definitely put it over Bonanza. Hollow Knight's a little bit questionable. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Look, people may think it's kind of crazy that it made it in here. It came out in February, and it's still like, it's still around. Like, the thing with Split Fiction and it's the thing that I knew off rip, and it's the thing I criticized it for off rip immediately, is Split Fiction is incredibly fun. No doubt, no argument, nothing. That's how it's incredibly fun. But it didn't have the sauce that It Takes Two had. And it mainly is due to the story. The story and the writing were just not to the level of A Way Out or It Takes Two. And because of that, Split Fiction did not have the staying power as the other game. Expedition 33, the game came out in April, 1 month after Split Fiction, and by 1 month, Split Fiction was dead. Like, no one was talking about Split Fiction. 7 months after Expedition 33, everybody is still glazing the crap out of it, right? And I could say the same thing for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. People are still glazing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't honestly see many people talk about Donkey Kong really right now anymore. I don't really see many people talk about Hades 2 either, to be honest with you. Death Stranding 2, I see a little bit, but that might just be my feed, honestly. And then Hollow Knight, it's still pretty recent, so I get it. But so for me, I absolutely see Kingdom Come here. Like, I don't think that's a crazy nominee at all. For me personally, the one that makes the least amount of sense right now to me is actually Donkey Kong, because it just got nominated for nothing. And I get it, it's a Nintendo game, it's a platformer. But you look at Astrobot last year. Astrobot got nominated 6 or 7 different times, and for things like audio, for visuals, for game direction, for all those things Astrobot got nominated for. And Donkey Kong is pretty much the same thing, but it got nominated for nothing. So it kind of just confuses me a little bit more than makes me irritated. It just confuses me. I could care less that Ghost Yote's not up here. Would I have liked to see it? Yes, but these 6 deserve to be up here. And yes, I know I'm crapping on Bonanza a little bit. I still think it deserves to be here. I was telling my mom and my sister and my dad, because all 4 of us are going to the Game Wars this year. I was telling them all. I was like, these are the 6 I think are going to be here. And my 5 locks, guarantees, were Expedition 33, Death Stranding, Donkey Kong, Hades, and Hollow Knight. The 6th one was up in the air. I personally said it was going to be Ghost Yote, but I could also see it being Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or Split Fiction. It ended up being Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So I'm not mad about Bonanza being here, but I thought Bonanza would at least have more of a presence, because it's literally nowhere. It's in the Nintendo category, Best Family, and nothing else. It just kind of confuses me. So, yeah, it's very weird. Do I wish Yote was here? Absolutely. But nonetheless, these 6 are your Game of the Year nominees. And I honestly couldn't necessarily agree more. I would throw Yote, but I have no quarrel with this. I have no bad blood with it. I think they made a fantastic Game of the Year list. And the great thing about it is, I think you could make the argument any of them could win. I think there's a very obvious winner, being Expedition 33. It broke the record for being the most nominated game in Game Awards history with 12. So I just think it's pretty obvious Expedition 33 is going to win. But listen, man, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it proved doubters wrong that Donkey Kong can be what we think Donkey Kong can be, and that is one of Nintendo's top franchises, top platformers. The creative and remarkable level design and gameplay design that is implemented in Donkey Kong Bonanza is just flat out outstanding, man. flat out outstanding. Hollow Knight Silksong, they took a sequel, they took one of the most anticipated games in history, and they absolutely delivered. You hear almost nothing bad about Hollow Knight Silksong, and for good reason, because it is almost everything good about what a video game is. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, from a game where the original wasn't necessarily praised, a sequel came out of nowhere and broke boundaries and broke every expectation you could have possibly set on it. It became one of the most beloved RPGs, dare I say, of all time. It became one of the most successful games of the year, and now it's nominated for Game of the Year. Underdog of the Year, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, without a doubt. Hades 2, from a nothing, no one knew what kind of game it was. Hades 1 getting nominated in 2020 to Hades 2 releasing in early access last year. From being all this controversy, will we nominate early access games, to coming out finally after all the hype and still being just as incredible as we thought it was going to be, if not even better. It is dang near a perfect game. And it is here, and it is incredible. Hades 2 is now nominated for Game of the Year. Expedition 33, bro. What the heck happened with Expedition 33? You took a studio comprised of the dang French, and I mean that in the biggest compliment of all time, these French developers who just came together, ex-Ubisoft developers who said, we have a vision. We're going to get the people we need to make this vision. They went out and got a SoundCloud music composer to make the OST. They got some dude on Reddit or something that just wrote fan fictions to write the game, right? It is another underdog story to an absolute fullest. And it came out, and dare I say, no matter if it wins this award or not, which I think it will, it is going to be regarded as one of the best games of all time. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is this generation's FF7, and I really do believe that. Expedition 33 has some of the most incredible gameplay, incredible characters, story, music, cutscenes, visuals ever. It is a phenomenal game. And then Death Stranding 2 on the beach. My darling, oh my God, why am I getting emotional? Holy crap. Wow. When I tell you I love Death Stranding 2, that's an understatement. Death Stranding 2, the reason I love that game so much is it just gives me these feelings and this experience that I'm unable to find in anything else in this world. And that is the thought that I am doing and living out my absolute best life. Because when I am walking, when I am experiencing that music, seeing the visuals, playing the gameplay, seeing these epic cutscenes, these epic fight scenes, these emotional moments, I just can't help but love everything about it. It is every element in a game coming together to form what is, in my opinion, the greatest medium on this planet, and that is video games. Death Stranding 2 is perfection to me. It really is. It is the only game ever that I've ever played that when I finished it, I had to question what my favorite game of all time is. And that is not easy to do because Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite game of all time, and it always will be. But Death Stranding 2 is the only one that made me question it because of how good it is. When you listen to the music and you hear the words that they're saying, and oh my God, now I'm getting emotional because of that music. The themes that they tackle about loss and the love you have for people that you have to say goodbye to. My vote's obviously Death Stranding 2. But I did not think I was gonna keep. I did not think I was gonna get this emotional. I'll be so honest. Um, this year has not been easy for me. It's been a great year, no doubt. There's been its ups and downs for sure. It's been one of the most important years of my life. It's been one of the most transitional and progressional years in my life. And specifically, summer was not great. I really did not like 2025 summer. And I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about my life. But Death Stranding, man, Death Stranding is just something I'll never forget. Truly. To the day I die. I'm never gonna forget my experience with Death Stranding 2. Holy crap. I'm sorry, guys. I probably, I look like the biggest baby. I look like just full of dramatic, like, just, like, we're just talking about video games here, but video games are my life. And, Death Stranding 2, man, through a lot of the rough times, definitely helped me out. I'll be honest. I love that game so much. That's gonna do it for this episode. I'm gonna just wrap it up. The way my life has been going, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't know what is in store for the future of this channel. I really don't. I have really, um, I have really grown in my faith with my religion a lot. It is now my highest priority in my life. I choose that over anything else. I have finally figured out what I want to do with my career, and it's going to take a lot of commitment being a chiropractor. I'm going back full time to college next semester. And so I just don't know what the future holds. I don't know how many games I'll be able to play. I don't know. I don't know who I'll be friends with. I don't know a lot of things right now. But I do know that video games are the one constant throughout my whole life. Like I said, I'm going to have a video talking about that a little bit later with just a clarification. It might just be as simple as this is it. Thank you all much for all support. Or it may be give me time and I'll be back. I really don't know yet, ladies and gentlemen. But I will say this. If it is the end, I don't regret a single moment. I don't regret a single moment, sweat, tear wasted making content for y'all, talking about video games. Because I love it. I love it. And even if I do stop doing content, I'm still going to be playing games. And that's what this show, that's what this show means to me. I'm having to spend over $1,000 to go to this show this year in 3 weeks. But to me, that was a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable because I don't know what my future looks like and how much video games I'll be able to play and how much content I'll be making. And so I wanted to give it one last hurrah. And in a year where so many incredible games came out, I just have to go. I have to go. Man, I do wish Ghost of Yotei was nominated, but that's okay. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna genuinely enjoy it. I'm gonna genuinely enjoy it. Thank y'all so much for watching, man. Thank y'all so much for the support you've always given me. Growing a community, growing this channel has been one of the best things in my life. That's gonna do it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was emotional wreck. That's just me. Honestly, I'm just a really emotional person. It's really hard for me not to cry these days. I literally just listening to a random song on the car ride home, I start crying. Like it's just, I'm a very emotional person. I love crying. So that's definitely just me. But thank y'all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny, out. Peace.